Solar World Traveler here. Well, I'm halfway through my all-inclusive vacation to Cancun and I decided to take some excursions. My first excursion is to Isla Mujeres, a little island right off the coast of Cancun. I got a great chance to explore downtown Isla Mujeres. It's beautiful beaches, local culture, and I got a chance to take a catamaran ride across the Caribbean Sea over to Isla Mujeres with some pretty fun people. Let's go. I woke up on day 3 of my all-inclusive vacation, and after having a morning coffee and hanging out with this little guy, got these cool birds and peacocks that kind of hang out around the coffee shop where I get my coffee every morning, I decided it was about time to finally go over and look into some excursions. The excursions at the Grand Oasis Resort can be ordered through a variety of different ways. There's a whole bunch of different representatives. I specifically wanted to come and use my Air Canada representative, Alejandro. So he usually hangs out from 11:30 to 1:30 p.m. here in the main lobby area. This is the main lobby area of the Grand Oasis. There's some pretty cool acts and entertainment that goes on at night that you'll see at the end of this video, but there right over in the corner is where all of the different sales reps hang out for all the different excursions that you can take, all the different things you can do. This is Alejandro here, booking with some folks who are booking a whole bunch of packages. These two guys booked for their families, and I finally, after these guys were done, I finally got a chance to sit down with Alejandro. He's a great guy. We had some great chats. He has a whole wide variety of different things, and I really like the idea of taking a catamaran and sailboat from Cancun over to Isla Mujeres. Alejandro agreed. He thought that was a great idea, and he wanted me to have a tequila with him, but I said, hey, it's too early in the morning. The next day I got up and was pretty excited, got over to the front lobby area where everybody was going to depart. There's tons of different tours and excursions that leave and depart from the hotel every single day. We finally found our transfer and we made our way up Hotel Row. Hotel Row, or Zona Hotelera, is a 14-mile long island. It's actually technically an island, even though it looks more like a peninsula, that separates the Caribbean Ocean and the Nachupe Lagoon, which separates downtown Cancun, or mainland Cancun, with the Zona Hotelera, or the hotel zone, peninsula or island, if you would. And it's just a long strip of land. It is bustling with tons of resorts, restaurants, attractions, public beaches, shops. There's a very big, couple big shopping malls. And on the right there, you'll see Senior Frogs and Coco Bongos. Those are two very famous nightclubs. Coco Bongos in particular is really cool. It actually blends a nightclub atmosphere with almost a Cirque du Soleil style acts and entertainment that goes on stages and actually hangs over the bar area too. It's really neat, and these are some other bars. This area, you do have to be careful if you go here at night. I've heard some stories of some tourists getting robbed in those clubs, so you got to keep your wits about you, make sure you know where your wallet is or your purses or whatnot, and just make sure that you're being aware. There's lots of police along Hotel Zone. It's very well heavily policed. We passed a lot of different police checkpoints and stuff. So I certainly felt safe, and I think some of the women we were traveling with felt safe too. But you just have to be careful. But if you are, you can really check out the clubs. There to the right as well is the bus. There are buses that go up and down the strip at Hotel Row all night, all day, every minute, and they only cost $1, and they're safe. Once we got to the end, we got into our check-in. This is the registration area for the catamaran boats, and there were lots of people going out. There were catamarans going. There must have been a dozen or so, all going either to Isla Mujeres or out into the ocean or on snorkeling adventures or up and down the coastline. You can see all the different catamarans here, all the different tour guides. Our group got out there. Our catamaran was pretty huge, and I think we had like 35 or maybe even 40 people on our catamaran. and we had a great group, of representatives, and these guys, they know what they're doing. They look after us, and they looked after us really well. You'll see here, there's some fishing boats as well. This guy's got some huge fish that he pulled out of the ocean, and he's probably taking those to the local market. This is our host. He was our host for the entire trip, both on the trip over to Isla Mujeres and on the trip back. This guy has the energy of a 20-year-old. He talked nonstop. He got the crowd rolling. He got the crowd dancing. He was cracking jokes. He could speak about 5 different languages, and he would do it all simultaneously. He kept everyone engaged. The audience and the group that we had on the Catamaran, I think there were just every possible age bracket. There were all different types of ethnicities. It was such a diverse and interesting group. They were from all over the island. They all had different backgrounds. A lot of them were from Canada, which was really awesome. Obviously, a large group of them were younger, although there were older folks as well. And they just partied, and they drank tequila, and they partied and danced. At one point, it was a little interesting because the waves are pretty choppy, and it was a pretty windy day, and the catamaran was rocking and rolling back and forth, and these folks are dancing all over the place with drinks in their hands. I thought that someone was going to lose a cell phone, a handbag, a purse, a backpack. I thought I was going to lose my own phone a couple times because of all the wind and all the waves rocking back and forth in the catamaran. As we spun around the catamaran, and people kept on dancing and singing. We were dancing to a whole bunch of different tunes. I wish I could let you listen to some of this music, but there's copyright laws to that, of course. But this crowd just had a great time, and they just kept dancing the entire way. I will say that if you do want a calm and quiet trip, this is not it, because the dance party was loud and the speakers were up full. Finally, we made it across the Caribbean Sea over to a little inlet. This really cool house was at the mouth of it, and the water immediately became much calmer, and we were able to come into this little bay area at Isla Mujeres, and we were able to bring up in and drive the boat up into this calmer watered zone, and it was really nice. There's a lot of really fancy yachts and billionaire vessels of one way, shape, or form all over the place. And as you can see, the group here was just taking in the sights and the sounds. Again, a little bit of an overcast day, but the weather was nice and warm. And once we got into the calm waters, here you go. You can see really high-end yacht clubs, also mixed in with a little bit more traditional Mexican houses and a little bit more different types of Mexican lifestyle all put together into one little area. It's a fascinating little island, Isla Mujeres. It's lesser known. It's not as popular, of course, as Cancun, either Old Town Cancun or the hotel zone, Zona Hotelera. I hope I'm saying that right. But it is a destination. The beaches were lovely. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit, but you can see they're also really packed. There's quite a few resorts. You can actually book an all-inclusive if you want and stay the entire time out on Isla Mujeres. There's boats and there's ferry rides that go back and forth all day long. So you can actually just stay on Isla Mujeres if you want to. You can see the other catamarans that have pulled up to the shore and let people off in the dock. We finally got onto the dock and we started walking off the boat. This is where we were going to get our lunch that we're going to have on the island, and all the different people. Here is the restaurant, the buffet that we had. It was pretty good. It was more traditional Mexican fare for lunch. I had a nice a couple of tacos and some beans and some rice, and you can see it's all served right here buffet style. They've got Mexican locals that serve all of the items to all of the different tour groups that come in. I think this zone was just for our own tour group. I sat down and I had a server come up and get me a Diet Coke, and I was able to enjoy the sights. I had my tacos and I had my beans and rice and salad. It was really a nice little lunch, and then I just decided to sit and kind of plan out my rest of my stay. We were given 3 hours to tour around Isla Mujeres, which was a lot, so I didn't really know what to do. So of course I just went out and I started to visit downtown Isla Mujeres. Now, one thing that they let you do at Isla Mujeres is they let you rent golf carts. I was gonna do it, but then I thought, you know what? I haven't walked anywhere all day. I feel like I just want to walk around and explore the streets of downtown Isla Mujeres just all by myself. I want to check out the main city here and check it out on foot. I didn't want to bother renting a golf cart. You can see the shops. It is very, very touristy, but at the same time, it is a little bit more traditionally Mexican, and you can actually see and you can witness and experience local Mexican culture a little bit. Again, this part, especially of the downtown core at Isla Mujeres, is quite touristy. The resorts and all of the all-inclusives are all around, and there's tourists everywhere, but intermingled with that are the local Mexicans, and you got a little piece of local Mexican culture as well. So it was really nice to be able to tour around and explore Isla Mujeres. One thing that you can notice here is you've got local street vendors. So you've got traditional Mexican street vendors offering papayas on carts, and of course, right beside it, you've got a good old-fashioned 7-Eleven. I thought that was kind of funny. And then right beside that, you've got more traditional Mexican gift shops, souvenir shops. You could get anything you wanted from a very, very traditional Mexican items or Mexican handbags. I went by a tannery where they were doing traditional leather bags and stuff, the old-fashioned way, and just all different types of things, whether it's kind of new, kitschy, modern stuff, or the typical souvenir stuff that you'd find anywhere, or some more traditional stuff. A lot of people were selling ice cream, and a lot of people were selling popsicles, a lot of vendors on the street. There weren't really, anybody was not really overwhelming you. Guys would come up to me and offer me to buy cigars, or there were quite a few people offering different types of popsicles and cold treats and mango and stuff like that. But they weren't in your face, and they weren't pushy, and they didn't make you feel uncomfortable at all. I was able to just walk around. As you can see, there's lots of different tourists there. I walked around for about an hour, and then I finally made my way back to the beach. Now, Isla Mujeres beaches, are they as good as the resort that I'm staying at in Cancun? I'm gonna say no, but the sand was the softest sand I have ever felt in my life. The sand was pristine and soft. The beaches just weren't quite as big. They were a little overcrowded. This part right here was quite overcrowded. They weren't quite as lush and full as the beaches in Cancun, at least at the resort I'm in. The beach right out in front of me is really spectacular. This one was too. It's just not quite the same, not quite as good. The sand was just pristine. It was unbelievable. And the water, for some reason, maybe it's because just a bit of a gray day, the water was a little bit colder up here. This is a little bit further north, a little bit away from the hotel zone, and it was just a little bit colder water, and the beaches were beautiful. Just, I gotta still give the nod to Cancun in terms of the beaches. Here I am just sitting down and just enjoying the beautiful soft sand right by the dock. I waited here for about an hour. I got all done what I wanted to do. I had an hour to spare, so I just chilled out, watched the scene, watched all the people, watched them all gather and party around, and they were having a good time. A few dance parties broke out on the beach. People are just chilling out. And basically, at that point, people, I think, were getting a little bit tired, and they wanted to get going back home. And as you can see here, this is where the dock was, where we were all waiting for the catamaran boats to come back for us. Finally, the boats started to come back in. It was really impressive to watch them. It was a really windy day. You can see the flags there really blowing in the wind. It is quite an art of these drivers to be able to maneuver these boats and get them to line up perfectly on the dock and not crash into the dock or crash into each other. And then they were able to anchor up. You can tell that these drivers have been doing this quite a while. We all felt really safe getting on and off the boat. They did a really good job making sure. We actually had one woman that was needed assistance walking. She had a walker, and they were able to get her in and out quite well. These two guys decided to check us out as we were getting back on the boat. There were pelicans and different types of birds all over the place. We finally got back out onto the ocean, and the sun finally peeked out, and boy, was it ever a gorgeous sunset going back and driving back towards Cancun. The trip back seemed to take longer than the trip there for some reason. I think it was almost over an hour actually, but look at the beautiful sunset. I just sat there almost the entire time. There were music blaring in the background. People were partying it up and having a great time, and I just sat there and enjoyed the view. Finally got back down into Cancun, and we got a driver, took us back to our hotel, and that was all done really well. And when I got back, I walked right into the middle of this. They had a fire show. This was the lobby area that you saw right at the beginning, and this is how I ended my night, enjoying this fantastic show. These fire artists were pretty amazing, and the crowd was awesome. They did a great job. It was really entertaining. Man, what a way to end the day. I had a fantastic day. I'm excited about my next trip tomorrow. I hope you follow me for more stuff at Solo World Traveler 44.